Hi, welcome back to Sinners in Repentance. I'm AJ Beasley. This is David Bailey with you as always. We are your obedient servants in the word of Yahuwah and the gospel of his son, Yeshua the Messiah. We're in the book of Revelations. We're going to hit chapter 14 and 15 both today in this video. We thank you for joining us, even during the deep stuff. It's deep for a lot of people out there. Revelations is a deep matter. It's a deep book. It's different, a lot of symbology. We thank you for tuning into the video. I pray that we do pray that you're reading and on your own and all that. And if you are, he'll grow that. He'll use that. He'll grow you. And we do love you guys, David.
Yeah, we remind you guys, hit the like button. It helps us out. It really does. It gets these videos out there a little more, puts them out on YouTube a little more, and it helps get this word out there, gets it into the homes and hearts of people. That's what we're trying to do here, because like AJ has said, it changes your life. It really does. And so really, we thank you guys for hitting the like button, and we really encourage you to hit the like button. And then if you do like the content, you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, hit all. It'll give you a notification every time we post a new video. And then also, something I said in the last video, going to remind you here, share it. Share it to anybody you know that you think it'll affect in a positive way, and somebody that may be going through a hard time you think may need it, share it to them. And then anybody that you just want to encourage more in the Word, share it with them as well. Like he said, we're going to get into chapter 14. He's going to read the first half of it. I'll read the second half, and then we'll go over it, and then we'll get right into 15.
15 is a short one, so just hang with us through this 14 here. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his name and his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as if it were a new song before the throne, and before the four living creatures and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahuwah and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they were without fault before the throne of Yahuwah. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting evangel to preach unto them that dwell upon the earth, and to every nation, and kindred, and tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear Yahuwah, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of the waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his idol, and receive his mark in his forehead or on his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahuwah, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
And the smoke of their torment ascends up forever and ever, and they have no rest, nor day nor night. They have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receives the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the Kodashim. Here are they that guard the commandments of Elohim, and the faith of Yeshua. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, Blessed are the dead which die in Yahuwah from henceforth. Yea, says the Ruach, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one set like unto the son of Adam, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in your sickle and reap, for the time is come for you to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud voice to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in your sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of Elohim. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse's bridle, and by the space of 1,600 stadium. The first thing I want to point out here, I want to go back up to verse 6 here. AJ read it. It says, And I saw another angel in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting Besorah to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. I wanted to point that out because I've heard my life, and I'm sure you've heard in your life, how that the end won't come until the gospel is preached in all the world. Well, you find out here in Revelation that how that happens, because they've done studies on it, and they say that about 2% of the world haven't heard the gospel. So the 98% of the world has heard the gospel so far. And how you find out here that how that the rest of them end up hearing the gospel, and how the whole world ends up hearing the gospel, is an angel actually comes from heaven and preaches the gospel to the entire earth, and every nation and kindred and tongue and people, as it says. And so I wanted to point that out. And then also, you heard us read these verses here, 9 through 12, and I think AJ wants to point out 12, so I'll let him go ahead and read them again real quick.
And the third angel followed those first two, saying with a loud voice, If any man worships the beast and his idol, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same will drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahuwah, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his idol, and whosoever receives the mark of his name. At this time will the faith of the saints be tested, that they keep the commandments of Yahuwah and have the faith of Yeshua.
He's going to touch a little more on 12 there, but really what I wanted to point out there is how it talks about, if you receive that mark on your flesh, on your hand, or on your forehead, there's no repenting, there's no, I didn't mean it, and trying to scrape it off of your hand. That's it. So really fight against this coming of the mark. Do not receive the mark, because it gives us all the warning in the world here in the Bible, and here especially in Revelation. Do not receive the mark. That's really what I wanted to point out and say there. That's really all I had in 14. AJ, I know you wanted to touch on.
I wanted to touch on verse 12. I wanted to say that it says two things there at the end. Notice it says they that keep two things. It could have said those that believe in the name of Yeshua. That's what the whole New Testament says, basically. For the most part, it could have just said that. But he tends to side a little bit here with Peter, or with James. Yeah. Faith without works is dead. And he says here, keep the commandments of Yahuwah. Yeah. Now notice it could have said the commandments or exhortations of Yeshua. Mm-hmm. It could have said that. It said keep the commandments of God. So obviously this is pre-Yeshua. Yeah. Not that you could ever really be pre-Yeshua. He's always existed. Yeah. But
he's ever and always.
He could have said it anyway, but he said keep the commandments of God and have the faith in Jesus Christ, or Yeshua the Messiah. So I want to point out that it says both things there. So he tends to agree with James when James says you can have all the faith you want, but if you don't act, if you don't love, if you don't preach, if you don't exhort, if you don't read, if you don't pray, if you don't know me, I will turn you away at the gates, or you'll be one of these caught up in the sickles here.
Yeah. And you don't want to be that. It says that the blood comes up to the horse's bridle, and it covers the space of 1,600 stadium.
And there's a lot of people that would say, look, I have time. People are trying to pressure me and make me get fearful, and no one's trying to make you feel fearful. Those emotions are fairly natural. But I would remind you of the story of the parable of the 10 virgins who all took their camps, but when the groom came, 5 of them didn't have enough oil to make it there. So don't wait till the last minute, because you may run out of oil when it comes time.
And I'll go ahead and point it out real quick. The last verse there, if any of you guys have looked into the Apocrypha or you want to look into it, Enoch chapter 99 verse 3, it talks about that last verse there in Revelation 14. But we're going to go ahead and jump into 15. We're not going to go there and cover that. We're going to go ahead and jump into 15, and then we'll close the video out with some thoughts.
Real fast before we jump into 15, I want you guys to remember this for after the video. I want you to meditate on what David said a while ago concerning the angel. It's always been believed, I've always heard, that when the gospel has been preached into all the world, and right now, like you said, about 2% of the world they estimate hasn't heard the gospel, and we've been, I say we, Christian evangelists, have been trying to reach those places for quite some time. It's in some instances, in some circumstances, it can be hard, to say the least. But anyway, remember that the angel near the end, he's going to come down, this angel, and he's going to finish the job off, so that we can push over the first domino that starts. So an angel will come down towards the end, and everybody will get a chance to accept or reject the gospel.
Yes.
So, don't forget that.
Nobody's left out. So we'll go ahead on into 15 here. That was a good point there, AJ. Starting at verse 1 here. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Elohim. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the guitar or harps of Elohim. And they sang the song of Moses, the servant of Elohim, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are your works, Yahuwah Elohim Sevaoth. Just and true are your ways, King of the Kodeshim. Who shall not fear you, O Yahuwah, and glorify your name? For you only are holy. For all nations shall come and worship before you, for your judgments are made manifest. And after that I looked, and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was opened, and the 7 angels came out of the temple, having the 7 last plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, and having their breasts girded with golden belts. And one of the 4 living creatures gave unto the 7 angels 7 golden vials full of the wrath of Yahuwah, who lives forever and ever. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of Elohim and from his power, and no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled. Really, it kind of just sets the scene here for what's about to happen with the 7 vials. Kind of a beautiful scene, really, if you think about it from a Christian's perspective. That is going to be a glorious moment to see the Lord of our life, the Yahuwah of our eternal souls, walking in to pour out the wrath on the ones that denied him. It seems kind of for me to say that would probably seem kind of sick and twisted to some people, but this is the God of the universe that people have betrayed, the one that created us all and the world and formed it, and all these ones that are mocking him. And to me, that's beautiful that they finally will get to face him face to face and find out that his judgment is just, and his punishment is just.
Always.
So I think that's about all we had here in this video. We wanted to cover these two real quick and set the stage for
more action.
More action, yes. The next few chapters are going to be pretty good, and I hope that you guys stick around, and I hope that you are blessed by these. Hope you learn something from them. I hope you get some revelations. We pray that actually that you would have revelation and it would stir up the spirit inside of you to have a desire to get in here and study it more for yourself, not only in Revelation but in the rest of the book as well. We love you guys. Praise Yah always. Spread the love of Yeshua.
Get in the Word so it can get in you. It can cause revelation and change your life.
Love you guys.
Shalom.
Shalom.